Hey guys, so something I get asked all the time, or I feel like is just such a common thing, is like, how do I get balance? Like, how do I do my work and like have my job, but also have time for my family, my friends, to get to the gym, to just have time for myself, have time and energy for it all. Like, how do I do that? Because I just feel like I can't get the balance. And I think this is a massive thing, right? This is a huge thing. And the thing that I see with this is that the majority of the time we are so job focused, we're so work focused, and that it's our biggest priority for a lot of people. And what happens is it consumes everything. It becomes this thing where we're getting up every day. We are like straight into the work, mode. We're out the door. We are, downing the coffee to get to work. We are immediately like pulled in a million different directions where we've got so many different priorities. We are just like on when we get to work. We are so on all day long, and by the time we get home we're exhausted, and it's sort of like we still feel like we're on the clock, so we still might be checking our emails, we might still be taking calls. And when all is said and done, we've like had dinner, we're like, I can't be bothered going to the gym, like I cannot be bothered, and like the couch kind of calls to us. And we might have been in this pattern for some time, and I feel that it just gets harder and harder and harder. And we find that, we start, taking calls even later, checking our emails even later, feeling like we need to go to work on the weekend and not even sure, why we're doing that, but we're going to work on the weekend, and we're all of a sudden, we're not seeing our friends as much, we're not hanging out with our partner as much. We feel like work is that priority, and we are on all the time, and our sleep starts to struggle, and we start, having more coffee to compensate, and it becomes this cycle of like getting through the day. And it starts to feel really shitty, and a lot of the thing that I see is most of the time it takes us getting to a point where we're just like completely burnt out before we're kind of like, this doesn't feel good. I'm not living my life in the way that I thought I would be. I'm not seeing my partner. Like when I do, it's just arguments about stupid stuff. This isn't how I thought it was gonna be. I didn't, and I think the thing is that it's not our fault, because we're brought up in a system that kind of is so career focused, so job focused. Like, what are you going to do when you're older? Get that down packed straight away when you finish school. And we just like go, go, go. And we don't ever stop to kind of check in of like, what do I want? Like, what do I want? And sometimes it takes us getting these things that we think we want and realizing that they don't feel the way that we thought they did. And that might be that we make it to the top of our company, we get a lot of promotions that we thought was going to make us feel really good, or we get that car with work that we, that perk that we really wanted, or we get a pay rise, or whatever it is, and we think that that was what was going to make us feel good. And sometimes we get there, or we have that thing, and we realize that we still feel like a piece of shit inside, and actually we feel more disconnected from our partner, our friends. We don't get to go to the exercise, we don't get to go camping on the weekends, we're not doing any of the stuff that we love. And we're sort of like, why have I done this? Like, what is this all for? It feels really empty. And it's so common. Like, this is such a common thing. And the thing is, it's like we've lost touch with, what do I want? And, straight out of school, we are forced to pick something, and we often we're all kind of 17 just picking something. And we lost sight of what it is that we want. Like, how am I feeling? And does this even align with what I want? Like, what do I value? And when we can really check in with our values, we can often see how many choices we've made that don't even align with that. Maybe we're looking for a job and we take this job because we feel like it's got the best perks. But we might value spending time with our friends and going camping on the weekend and having, a lot of free time or whatever it is that we value. But we take this job because we're like, it's got all the perks and blah, blah, blah. But then we have a zero time for any of that stuff. We have to work weekends, or it's like very demanding of us, and it doesn't even match what we really value. And then we keep doing it, we keep pushing, and we have no contentment, no fulfillment. We just feel flat, and we're wondering, where is the joy? Like, where is the joy? And most of the time it's that our values aren't aligned with what we're choosing. Like, we're choosing these things that are aligned with values that are important to somebody else, like whatever they are, getting that successful job, getting that job that pays a lot, whatever that is. We have to take the time to ask ourselves, like, what do I value? And am I choosing things that even align with that? Because if not, then we end up just going harder and harder and harder and wondering, when do I get to actually feel good? And we're wondering, when will I get this time to feel energized and go to the gym? When will I feel like I have time to spend with my partner? When will I have time for myself? And it won't come because we're pushing harder in this direction that doesn't align with us, waiting for something to change, and it won't. Because we're the one that has to change. We have to stop, take a moment and stop. And a lot of the time we're afraid to stop because we're taught, again, that it's in the doing. If we're doing more, we're achieving more. So stopping and like even contemplating where we're at feels like we're wasting time. We're not progressing. But we have to change that in our mind and realize that stopping is progress. Because have at it in one direction and not stopping, but it not being the right direction and it killing us, is not progress. And if we can stop and recognize that there is so much value in stopping and asking ourselves, what do I want? How do I feel about what I'm doing? Is this aligning with what I want for my life? Taking that time is crucial. And if we can see in that stopping and evaluating that is growth in itself, that is a growth moment. That's actually a very big thing to do that. And sometimes it's the moving and the continuing and the striving. We think it's progress, but it's not. If it doesn't feel good, we need to stop and ask ourselves why. Because life is short. Life is very short. And we can wake up at 40, at 50 and realize, like, what the f have I been doing my whole life? Like, none of this even aligns with me. So it's time to live our own life. If you've been feeling this way, like, you're not alone. So many of us get in this trap. So many of us find ourselves in this place where we're just strung out. We're trying to find this balance, but we can't understand why. And we've given up all our power. We're not even focused on ourselves. We're not prioritizing ourselves, our gut feeling. Like, what are our gut feeling saying to us? And we need to listen to that. And I hope this, if this resonates with you, know that I'm happy to have a chat. I'd love to have a chat. And I think sometimes we just need a bit of an objective space, someone that, isn't our family member or our mate or someone that's really close to us, that, when we have the same people around us, we're always hearing that same stuff. And sometimes we need a bit of a different perspective. And that's why, I love to just have a chat with people, have a conversation about what's going on for you. What are the thoughts that are coming up for you right now? Air that out. You can get so much clarity from something like that. So know that you can always reach out to me. Happy to have a conversation. Grow from this. If this is where you're at, let's grow. Let's change that, improve, start living your life in a way that you love.